Alrighty, so we are taking a look at car seat safety because I'm sure you know these things are interesting to install,
Yes.
right? And you never quite know if you do it right. So Cristy with AAA is here to take a look at how we do it, because also as the kids grow, you have like different needs, different sizes, and different shapes and different seats that you're supposed to put in.
Exactly. There's so much to choose from. And I think that the most important thing to talk about is the most common mistakes. The number one mistake is moving your kid out of a booster too soon. A lot of the times I see 5-year-olds or 6-year-olds out of a booster and they're too little still. So here we have two different types of booster seats. We have a no-back booster, which would be good for bigger kids like 8 or 9-year-olds that are still kind of on the short side, but that kind of feel embarrassed or don't need as much neck support. And then on the other side, we have a high back booster. This is, I think, my favorite type. Really? Because it offers the kid more stability in their back. It makes sure
and their neck.
In their head, neck, and spine, and it makes sure that the seatbelt hits properly where it's supposed to hit, which is your clavicle bone.
Okay.
So Arizona law says that a child should be between 5 and 7 years old. They should be in a harnessed seat or a booster seat.
Right.
And you should take your kid out of a booster seat when they either reach 8 years old or 4'9".
But also we have to say too, when it comes to age, I mean, some kids are smaller, some kids are bigger, so you have to look at that too.
For example, my nephew is 9 years old, but he is under the 4'9" height, so he's still. This is actually his booster.
Oh, okay.
So, he's a big kid, he can buckle himself in, and, it's just an added little boost to make sure that the seatbelt hits at the right height.
Okay, so let me ask you though, with this, I mean, do you not have to snap that in with anything? The booster?
This model you don't. There's different models.
Okay.
When you have a high back booster like that, it's always a good idea to have it buckled, even if the child is not in the seat in the car.
Okay.
Just because of movement and stuff like that. But yes. Another big mistake that we commonly see is that children are still are forward facing before they should be.
Okay.
So children should stay rear facing as long as possible.
Model. We have a model here.
Eli, for example, he is 3. He just turned 3 years old.
Hi.
But he's only 32 pounds, so he can still be rear-facing according to his car seat manual.
Okay.
So Eli is very comfortable in his seat, as you can see. And a lot of parents have concerns about legs, their legs being up high or kind of twisted. This is the safest seat for Eli to ride in. It provides head, neck, and spine support. If there's a hard break or crash, the car seat will go back and forth, taking in all of those crash forces and not hurting the baby. Okay. Otherwise, if it's a forward-facing seat, even if it's tethered, the seat goes back and forth, and the child takes those impacts. So, common mistakes that we see here are kids, number one, being turned over too soon. So we talked about that. Also, too loose. If you can pinch fabric like this, on the straps, it's too loose. Okay. So we want to make sure that we tighten that. And finally,
It's too big. You're right.
It's too big.
It's too big.
Yeah. See, Eli knows. And then finally, the chest clip. It's supposed to be at armpit level. At armpit level at all times.
But this is something also we should remind people, like if you go to a fire station, they'll check for you. Because a lot of times you're like, gosh, I follow the instruction. I hear it from parents all the time. They're like, I'm not quite sure it's in there the right way.
Yes, and it can always be a little confusing. And then finally, the last thing I'll talk about is the harness being proper. He's saying hi, how adorable. Hi. And also, having it be too loose. A lot of the times, we want to make sure that we do the inch test. So make sure that it doesn't move side to side more than an inch across the belt path. Okay. And have your car seat checked by someone that knows what they're doing. Yes, right?
Perfect.
It's free.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Eli, for being such a good model for us. Okay? He's like, yeah, give me my treats. We'll be right back, Arizona.